Hello, friends. Welcome to Akulmach Live. I'm your host, Chandrakant. All right, and today's discussion is about feedback. And when we are doing business, when we are running a team, many times we forget to collect the feedback. We do not create environment to have exchange of ideas between the team, and that could be a big bummer. That could actually reduce the cohesiveness in the team, and the chances of success as a team will also diminish slightly. So today in this program, I'm going to tell you 7 steps that you must implement, either all 7 of them or at least six the top processes that I will explain to you today, using which you can improve the connection between your team members, and you can start collecting feedback for anything from your team, because in today's environment the team's feedback is the most important, because the competition is immense and people will come and tell you what is going right, what is going wrong. But if you don't get that feedback, you will not be able to make corrective measures. So therefore, within the team, how do you create the competition, how do you create cohesiveness, how do you create environment of feedback is very important. So here comes the 7 steps by using which you can improve your team structure. So first one is create a supportive environment. You got to create environment which is supportive of all team members. So if somebody is facing an issue, you don't want to not understand that issue. So somebody approaches you, you want to say, okay, fine, this is the issue that you are facing, but at the same time, you don't have a mechanism to basically provide supportive measures for the team member. So that is why you have to think logically and start saying that, okay, fine, people can voice their concerns, can provide feedback, good, bad, or ugly, but then you have to be supportive. Many times people say that, okay, you are giving this feedback, but it's all useless. So you don't want to do that. You take the feedback, put it in some system. I will come to that system. Put it in that system so that any feedback is valuable. And when somebody is giving feedback, one of your team member, it should look like that you are listening to that team member. You are supportive to the idea of receiving feedback. It is not that you have to adhere to that feedback. You have to basically leave everything and then look at that person's feedback. No. You have to be supportive of the idea that the feedback is being accepted. Whether you decide on that feedback, that will come later, but at least allow people to give you the feedback. So first of all, the first point is you must actually create an environment where people feel that if I'm going to give feedback, whether it is very trivial or very small, it doesn't matter. People should actually start giving feedback. So that is one environment correction that you have to do within your team. What is the next one? Next is the use a structured framework for giving or receiving feedback. So what is the structured framework? Structured framework is some sort of process, some sort of form. Why I'm saying structured framework? Because you have to not only receive the feedback, but you need to also process the feedback. And if you just receive it verbally, then you will not be able to process, because you might forget, or you may remember the negative aspect of the feedback, not remember what actually was a feedback after a couple of months. So you don't want to get into that situation. So you want to basically get into processing the feedback whenever at whatever frequency, whenever, at whatever time you want to process the feedback. So to receive feedback as a team, the best method is to use a feedback Excel spreadsheet, or some sort of feedback form. So the best way to do is that in time to time basis, you should publish some sort of survey, and the survey should not be very long within your team, and ask your team to fill that survey for 5 minutes, and the result of the survey gets into some sort of a database, so that that database can give you a dashboard, and that dashboard can be evolving. So because you're doing feedback from your team, exercise of conducting surveys within your team, and the dashboard that you're looking for making decisions is dynamic. It is ever changing, because as the feedback keeps coming in, the dashboard parameters will keep changing. All right. So this becomes a very structured format of receiving feedback, and it will be easier for people to also give you feedback at the time that you, because it will not take too much time. You don't have to call for very long meetings, or you don't have to organize a meeting. You can just have a 5-minute survey every month and put the question so that people in your team can respond to that, and that becomes your feedback mechanism from the team, what the team is expecting, etc. So this is very important, and if it is structured, then it will help you. And then if you have done this for a couple of years, you will have a very strong feedback from your team after a couple of years. So that is why using a system, using a structured approach is also very important. What is the next important things in this area is the training of your team. So the team is well educated. They have the key resource area. In based on that, they have been selected as part of your team, and they come with a specific job profile. However, the training, when we talk about training, it's their training of giving feedback. They should get into the loop of giving you feedback at least once in a month or once in a fortnight, and they should not shy away. It should not happen like if there is an election, people don't go for voting. Not like that. So you have to basically ensure that there is enough feedback about feedback is given. You actually ask your team members, your employees or your team members to definitely attempt the survey using which you are collecting the information, whether it is about your office coffee quality, or it's about the customer situation, or it's about the future of the company, or anything else. So that training has to be given. Maybe you want to basically say that, okay, fine, if you attempt to the monthly surveys, you will get 10% weightage in your appraisals. So whatever the method could be, it could be well communicated with the team that it is very important for the welfare of the company, welfare of the entire team, to basically provide feedback of whatever they feel. The feedback can be anything, as you know that it's democracy. Feedback is for the good only. All right. So the training to all the team member is a must. That means they must get into the habit of giving feedback. All right. Let's move on to the next one, and that is about follow-ups. Now, people only take feedback, give feedback, take feedback, but don't follow up. So in case there are questions which are like of the type that, okay, what do you think what we should do, and it is descriptive in your survey. It says that let employee give description in 1 or 2 sentences. So then once you receive those kind of feedback, you must actually follow up with those individuals, because they have taken pains of giving the details. All right. So you must basically go and talk to them and say what is their individual problem, and follow up is very important. This will also ensure that team member will get very good insight that your feedback is looked at it very seriously. And if you don't follow up, then people will say, okay, fine, I have given feedback, but nobody is coming and talking to me. So then people will lose interest. So follow up, in order to maintain the interest, you need to always follow up with your employees, who especially for those who have given you some specific feedback which nobody has given. So follow up is very, very important. The next one is the actionable items. See, whenever you get a feedback, and then you can come out with a parameter where there are specific action items that you have come out with. Those actionable items must be conveyed back to the team, and you should always tell that, oh, okay, fine, we conducted the survey last month, and nearly 70 or 80% people, I mean, that you can think about the threshold. You can also be very aggressive, say that 50% people think that this should be done. So then the feedback should become an actionable item, and whatever action the company or your team or you as a leader is taking, you must convey it back to the team, giving them confidence that look, you guys have given us this feedback and we have actually taken action on this. So that will create a lot of cohesiveness and seriousness about ideas being considered very seriously. And that is why taking action is very, very important, and also conveying it back to the team. It's also absolutely important. The next item that we must look at is, make a fair balance between positive and negative feedback. So when you actually open the feedback, it will be both kinds of feedback that you can expect. It could be positive feedback, it could be negative feedback. So then you must apply some sort of logic in controlling the positive feedback and negative feedback when it comes to your decision making. It should not happen that a lot of positive feedback actually takes you off course, because you are suddenly finding it very, very comfortable that okay, I got so much positive, but then that positivity must be reduced to certain degree. At the same time, the negative feedback has to be improved to certain degree. So there has to be inbuilt thresholds for both positivity and negativity. A smart data scientist will be able to give you that that bit and can build in that equation in your feedback mechanism wherever there is a feedback happening. But you must have this kind of cushioning both on the positive side and also on the negative side, so that you don't go wrong while considering positive feedback, if like a lot of positive feedback, or also do not go wrong if you get too much negativity within your feedback. Because you must be doing something as a company, and there are no knee-jerk reactions, so you should not be affected by too much negativity. It should actually, when it comes to decision making, it should raise the bar a little bit. All right, and I told you that you must do this survey or feedback every month or at least every fortnight. So suppose you get a lot of negativity in this month's survey, next fortnight or next month you will definitely have a new survey which will get incorporated in your overall survey or your feedback mechanism. All right, so these are certain things which you must look at. The degree of how much cushioning you have to do in both positive side as well as negative side, that is largely dependent on the nature of business, and you can decide how much cushioning you need to do. Let's move on. Provide timely feedback. When you actually get the feedback, you should also collate all of this, and within like 2 to 3 days of receiving the feedback, remember we are now not doing anything manual. We are all using the forms and systems to collect the feedback. So you must convey it back to the team that okay, now we got the feedback from the team and this is the collective results of the feedback. You should always publish the results in a timely manner, and this is very, very important, because if you do not publish the feedback results, then people will not be too attracted, because everybody is now individually giving feedback, but they want to know what the entire team thinks as a total team, as a total company. So if you have that online mechanism of collecting the feedback, you should also give it back every month, publish the dashboard openly for everybody, and you must inform that look, we have conducted the survey and this is the overall picture that we received from the employees. Most of the employees think A or B or whatever that is. You must convey it in a timely manner, and you must encourage the two-way communication. The feedback should be both ways. For example, if you are a very managerial type leader, then you will always have a feedback where you are always giving some feedback to the employees. However, it's always a two-way street. So feedback has to be accepted and also given at the same time. So when employees giving you feedback, you should be able to also give the feedback back to the employee. Likewise, employee must also, you must also receive feedback and give feedback, and therefore it should not be a one-way street which is feedback coming only from you to them. It has to be a communication. It has to be a dialogue. It should not be a monologue. So feedback has to be a two-way street, and by controlling this thought, by implementing some of these strategies that I've shared with you, you will be able to build a very cohesive team. Forget the team building exercises, anything else. Just by implementing the feedback within your team and within your company, you will be able to create a very good team for your organization. So friends, this is something that I wanted to share with you. If you have any suggestions, any questions, feel free to send it across. And thanks for watching me live. I will catch you again in the next one.